Tell us what made this different for you to come to?
We knew that it was time. When she was initially diagnosed, her psychiatrist was concerned that even if she started therapy for it, she just wouldn't speak at therapy. So he said, "You're going to be driving around a lot, spending a lot of time for her to sit on a couch and not benefit from anything. So we really need to make sure that she's at a point where she's ready and she wants this." And she had reached that point. And I didn't go anywhere else. I had been already researching where to go, what methods I thought would work best for our family and for her. And I thought, let's try this. Let's start here. Why not start with what I feel connects with us the most? And I loved the idea that parents would get a chance to meet as well, and that you would work with the parents on the side and not just with her, because we are the ones who are with them most of the time. And the best thing that happened was after the first day, she just said, "Mom, thank you for finding this place and bringing me here." I mean, she
Oh,
knew
that made me feel
immediately. Yeah, it was for her. And what was incredible was walking in on that Friday night, she couldn't wait. She was counting down to CommuniCamp, and I'm going to meet kids like me, and this is going to change my life, and the whole thing. And we walked in, and she just turned to stone. But it was the first time in our lives, and I got emotional looking around, thinking, I don't have to explain this to anybody. Everybody had the same thing. Like, no, I swear she was excited 5 seconds ago. I promise. And I didn't have to do that. And she warmed up seeing that there were other kids like her. And I immediately, looking around that room, was like looking in a mirror of my life. And I had hope that, okay, we're not in this alone. The next morning, you said, this is not about getting them to talk the second they leave camp. This is about building comfort, and this is about building the bridge. And then I had apologized to her that evening and said, Emily, I'm sorry for all the times I kept asking you if you talked or will you talk, or trying the positive reinforcement a little too much, right? You skip you skip to the stickers and, come on, if you go talk to the guy at the store, I'll give you a prize. And that could work, but she wasn't comfortable enough for it to work long term. So it was about going back and building that foundation.
No, that's you just explained it so well because I know and you know the end goal is to become a confident verbal social communicator. And you definitely can talk about talking when the child is ready to talk about talking. But when you have a child that's shut down, unable to even engage, they have difficulty handing and taking and being comfortable around peers and responding to their teacher, even in a nonverbal way or just barely verbal, like you can't push it because what you're doing is you're disrespecting where they're at. So I'm all about talking when they're ready to. I had a child yesterday in my session and we're talking about talking. We're talking about increasing her volume and standing further away so her voice is louder. So we're there and able to talk about it and she understands it. And the
Mhm.
key is, which you've experienced and shared, and that I love hearing, is that she understands herself. And the bridge is such a means of control for not only you and for me, but for her. It helped her realize, wow, I am on the bridge. And yes, I'm not able to be, comfortable verbally yet or responding in this big full sentence, but I'm able to use a peer as an intermediary, or I'm able to, you know what I mean? Like you're able to see that you are on the bridge or shaping sounds into words for some kids. But I love that. And for me, this is just frankly, music to my ears because you grasped what I needed you to grasp. But I do need to say something to you. You have a way of parenting. And I just did an episode with Dr. Jenna, my daughter, who's joined the Smart Center full time, and you've met her, on authoritative parenting and the way to parent children in general and how important it is. And I can tell just by the way we had spoken before and how you know, explain all this that your way of parenting, and probably a lot from who you are as a person, but what you've learned, like you said, over the course of your career, is to be very authoritative, not authoritarian, not permissive. And so by having a way of talking to her, being very open, being very grateful, being very understanding, but yet setting the boundaries, but in a way that she has choices and just really getting to know her where she feels safe to express herself. I'm going to tell you that is so key that you're at the starting gate when you came to the Smart Center because you already had this parenting. And so by her being open to you by saying, Mom, I want help, she felt safe to say that to you without fear of you saying, well, you're going to talk, right? You're going to do it. You're going to do it. Like, we're here to help you talk. Like, you're going to get talking or you need to do it. We've got to go. Like, you weren't like abrasive in your approach. We see parents that get very, very overwhelmed by this process. And you are I can hear how you talk. So kudos to you, Jenny, for yeah, for parenting her in a way that is very understanding and very, validating to her and making her feel that it's okay. And that's a safety that she has to open up to you. So do you know where I'm going? I mean, you understand what I'm saying, right?
I really appreciate that, and it wasn't, I mean, there's times I have a sticker I have up in my classroom that says growth isn't linear, and it's a butterfly that's kind of swirling on it's an upward trajectory, but it's got its loops to remind myself mostly and my students that we do have our days that aren't going to be perfect. And I looked back on some days that I really, when I especially didn't know what was going on with her, I did want to make sure I apologized to her so she knows that, hey, we didn't know, but when you know better, you do better. And I try to go into everything with that mindset that maybe today wasn't a perfect day. No day really is perfect, but there were moments in the past where I felt like, oh, I should have handled that better, but I didn't know. I did the best with what I knew. And even having a conversation about that, about those moments in the past, I think were healing for both of us, because I really didn't, when I didn't know that she was selective mute and I was trying to work through it, and I didn't have the methods that I learned at CommuniCamp. You're doing the best you can with what you've got, but now you know better. But I really enjoy the parent portion and the parent training. And I think that was probably one of the best things I've ever done.
Thank you. No, it's so important to us because you are the facilitators, right? You're the educators to others, to family and friends, to teachers. Of course, we help with teachers too when needed, but you are that person. You are the one, basically, you're living with her. We're only, so that all day parent education for us is just so critical to give you that, the education, the hope, the support, and you got it. And I'm just so thrilled. And